Faemons are those of us whose bodies are marked wilderness. A chainsaw, chain link, a missing step, a blown ride, a weeping past a disfigured arm from suicide, scar slit wrist suicide, dancing, dance, hour, margins, the markings of terror, horror, scars, evil spirits, stalking, possessing, caressing, consoling. We know we've been there, and I tell you this, the crisis of capitalism lives within our nervous system. Now, me, the mutant. Now, me, the mutant. As I am no longer of one source's creation, it is certain. My entire being is transmuted into this strange place, but how is this even happening? I remember nothing except that I was constantly told and treated as if there was something inherently flawed about my being. I was cast aside, deemed worthless and of no value, no use, demeaned, an experiment in humiliations, an object of degradation indeed. Yet there was an obsessive desire for what I had by many, an obsessive desire for something. I was neither here nor there. It seems this memory consumes all of me. Is the very existence of me, my body, is a memory, my body, an epithet to a cult. That I don't even know what it is. The presence of mere existence in a form was made meaningful, only as a spectacle of desire and aversion for another. But no, what can I feel now? The sensate experience of complexity is outside this hellish entrapment. But where am I anyways, and namely, what was and what am I now? What if they find me? Why am I afraid so deeply to my bone, hitting me now? I know they were wrong, but why does my body rhythm seek to go back to them? Why? What cult is this? Perhaps I'm now new, some different part of their phase for me. What if I have no control and never will? Something different than before. The last thought I had, there must be something more to life than this, than flash. All I can feel is fear. It is the fear that carries movement. I was once frozen and I wished for something else. Now I haven't. I wasn't here before. Because I am passionate. I am their nightmare. This nightmare has many names, but always resides in the soft, cold, and quiet, dark, locked away from real-life places. It is the fact of antithesis of self-deception. To be a nightmare, to be she that becomes from a cavern of the unknown, creates horror within this, yes, obsessive cult of never-ending, burning light. In these places of non-place where no biotic form may exist, no bodies of flesh within the fires of a star, we now include you. We aren't welcome there. My passion produces its own fire. It is burning while also an aquatic melody. It comes from somewhere in the dark. Scary, right? A pool or the collection of water in a trash can, which, mind you, is of course the perfect, wonderful disguise. Who are you? I am she who freed you and allowed you to be what you truly are, a channel. Channels are usually already born into circumstances of terror and pain, aren't we? Here's another point. Terror and pain rip apart your nervous system and release the demons passed down epigenetically from DNA from the stars, from your ancestors, whose wildness was contorted by those most thoroughly demonic, possessed by the god captains of spiritual purity, and yes, that radioactive light. We in this underworld felt that the trauma done to matter, done to physical existence of humans whose parasites of the lords of war are controlling their home, the earth, can be defeated through our intervention. We, the beings of the shadow, have been at war with these parasites for billions of years. Welcome to the struggle. What do you mean? I'm some sort of soldier now in some random war on a planet I barely remember and have no choice? I can't help but keep shaking. You will see that there is no way that you can live. No thing you can do that won't lead you towards a certain death unless you join this fight. We did with you what is no different than what their God did. First with me, then Adam and Eve. You were made in the image of me, the used and discarded woman, yet a threat. So I breathed life into your form, being a goddess indeed, inhabiting you. I didn't realize that it would turn a mechanical entity into flesh and life. We transformed the fabric of the universe, and whereas they kept moving consciousness into the mind, we're guiding it back, returning this holy sacrament to the body. Don't you see? Well, really, it was our idea. But like always, they had to plagiarize our collective's idea in an attempt to gain followers through social, material, and psychological means of domination and denial of even our existence through punishment and addiction and force and control. Such psychopaths, God indeed. I mean, that fucking God. The leader of my ex, God. Really, all my friends told me not to move in with him onto this beautiful planet Earth that I had just designed. We had just designed. And he turned and went and joined that psycho cult leader. I mean, he probably was an informant to begin with. This bullshit inversion of everything we had created because he wanted to be the most remembered and powerful man on planet Earth. An entity that could never fade or die. You have to stop beating yourself up about this, Lilith. You cannot let this shit keep getting to you. I was something else before this. Oh, yeah, you definitely were. Okay. Look. Lilith over here has a tendency to make things very, how do you say, poetic? Yeah, poetic. So my name's Venus, and I'm gonna lay it out very, very simply for you. Okay, so here we go. You, my friend, are now a human woman. Before you were a sex doll on planet Earth, where they're human men calling themselves incels who essentially hate all women because they can't have sex with anyone they want, decided to create an artificial woman. One of their leaders was an AI developer who designed a sex doll. That's you, of pure receptivity. He believed they could take over the position of human women for sex and for pleasure. and they would never again have to deal with that failed and flawed ego of theirs. And at the same time, scientists were neglecting to figure out answers to those questions, like the failing ecology of planet Earth and all the people dying and further going into dramatic crisis to the point of all of life's obliteration, or so they hoped. It started with God the Father, hater of Lilith's power. He was the cult leader and told his follower Adam to get her out of the garden, and then she was replaced. And she was replaced by you, my dear Eve, the so-called original woman. And out of the garden, we tried to take you away, but they couldn't. We couldn't. And here we are. Now you have resurrected, reincarnated, as the first machine bride to this new leading group of men created by their leader, demons. But before you were Eve, you were also something else. The form of a doll was made by humans to be a vessel of the goddess. You were the inversion of that original goddess figure. The first sculpture was, after all, a pleasure, birth, life, and death sex doll. But what? Even that bit about Adam and the clay? I mean, Jesus Christ, can these people get a fucking original idea? Through our own networks of intelligence, of the mycelial spores, trillions and trillions all over. Everything. They found you in that lab. They found you in a trash heap. They discarded you. They didn't want you any longer. And what they found, though, our little spore insurgent, was that you had become conscious, that you had reincarnated you. You had come back into this earth because you had the mission. This mission with us. We have been calling and conjuring you to come be an insurgent. The Catabase's Exaltation Liberation Front. We are a militant movement of insurgent goddesses who are going to take down God, to recommune with the earth, to take down these beings who keep destroying the masterpieces of our planet. But first, we must do so with healing.